So today we're gonna talk about early dating. We didn't like go into things thinking we were gonna date.
Yeah. I would have acted cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, probably. You would get in your car in the morning and just like rip
I would
ass.
absolutely rip it. I would like literally be like, I need to fart so bad.
We were like so honeymoon at that point. It's hard when you're just like my dream foot.
I feel like it was so obvious how obsessed with you I was and am.
I mean,
How much time is too much time? How many nights in a row is too many nights in a row to spend the night together?
hello and welcome to The Gap.
Hello. Good morning. Little morning edition.
As per usual, we are going to say things into these mics.
Yes, we are.
What do you want to talk about?
Well, I think we can keep it pretty short today. We're shooting in the morning. We've got some stuff we need to knock out. So today we're going to talk about early dating. This is a topic I came up with because I think it's interesting to think back to like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like with us. And we're not going to just talk about like us and our experience early dating, but just kind of like in general, like when you're dating someone early on. So what were your first? Who's doing that? I have found the culprit. It was a Frank. And we're back. We've already said we met on Hinge.
Mm-hmm.
And our meeting was kind of different, which we'll tell you our full story in a later episode. I was in an open relationship and Sid was kind of getting out of like a situationship. So our like first date / first couple hangouts were so different because I was in an open relationship. So we didn't like go into things thinking we were going to date.
Yeah.
And something I've noticed with all my relationships, I've had 3 serious relationships. In all of them, I wasn't like looking for anything. I wasn't like seeking someone out. Like my ex-husband, I met him at a party and then met my last partner just on Instagram while in that marriage and figuring myself out, and then met you while in an open relationship. So it's just so funny to think about, like, all of my serious relationships kind of happened naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there was, like, a lack of pressure being put on the situation because it wasn't, like, going out on this first date and it's like, oh, what's going to happen? Like, are we going to become something?
Yeah.
Which I think that has helped. And I know you've said before, what do you always say about us?
I don't think we would be dating if we hadn't met and like started out getting to know each other in the way we did.
Yeah.
And I say that only because I would have acted cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, probably. I don't know. I think I just would have gotten like kind of obsessed with you. I hate to say it.
So?
I don't hate to say it. I would have. No, but it was just like, you were just like off limits in my brain. So it was literally just like I was getting to know a friend. And then sometimes, we would be spicy and that was fun because, that was allowed. But like nothing other than that, you know what I'm saying? It wasn't like.
Yeah, it was, so in my open relationship, I was seeking out, like, because I was new to the queer community, like, I jumped right into a serious relationship. So I didn't really have, like, an exploration period. So it was, like, a little bit of that. But for me, it really was just, like, finding community and trying to find other queer friends.
Yeah.
So it was just, like, a win for me. I was, like, on the apps seeking out, like, potential friends as well as potential, like, sexual encounters, if you will. I have some little bullet points over here. My first one on the list, I think, is the funniest. So I'm just going to go ahead and bring it up.
Okay.
Like, farting and pooping in front of partners is so
farting and shitting and
funny. Because we, like, still laugh because, so I was obviously in an open relationship and then in, like, a kind of a breakup. It was a very prolonged breakup.
But you lived with them.
And
so for the first, like, couple of months that we were seeing each other regularly, you weren't in a relationship, but you were living with your ex. Mm-hmm. So I couldn't come to your house, which is so fair. So we just hung out at my house, which was great.
I loved your little house.
Yeah, I love that house. That was a great house.
Sweet. But basically,
yeah, I feel for my roommates during that time period, because yeah, the walls are only so thick, but it was great. And you had talked about you would get in your car in the morning and just like rip
I would
ass.
absolutely rip it. I would like literally be like, I need to fart so bad. And look, we're very open about this stuff. Some people get grossed out by it. I'm not, because it's like literally a bodily function that we all do. But like in the mornings, it's like not necessarily like gross stanky farts, but it's just like
It's just air.
And it's like loud though a lot of times.
Yeah.
So I was just like, I can't, like I absolutely cannot do this in here because it's way too risky.
For sure.
So I would
mean,
just
you could
get-
have
I would
done it
leave in the
in my room while I was in the bathroom doing exactly that.
Yeah, so
Like-
turns out Sid would go like into the bathroom to fart, and then me, I would just wait until I left and just like as soon as my car door closed, just let
It's
it
like
let it all
so
out.
uncomfortable holding that air in you.
That was like early on, and then we went to New York, which
Yeah.
that's another thing. I like highly suggest traveling as early as you can in a new relationship.
Yeah. It's so
you
funny.
might as well test out how you travel together, because you cannot be in a healthy relationship with someone if traveling together is miserable.
It's just such a good test of, I think, compatibility. You see like an additional side of a person when you travel with them, because some people just are like really stressed out when they're traveling, or I don't really know, but it's a really good way to see how you work together, I guess.
Yeah, like if you're like bickering the whole time. And like that was like one of the most fun trips I feel like I've been on.
It was so fun.
And like not even because of what we did. We didn't like do a lot. We just like we were literally there for a few days.
We
like,
just
3
bopped
days.
around like different things we wanted to do in the city. We saw a couple of friends while we were there.
Yeah. It was just so
And
fun.
honestly, we were like so honeymoon at that point. Like
So
it was
honeymoon.
ridiculous. Like
I'll never forget from that trip. I love like making videos and stuff, and so we didn't use my camera a ton, but we brought like an old camcorder and stuff. And I guess I had sort of seen that you turned on for the camera for the scavenger hunt, which we'll talk about next. But
yeah.
it was just so cool, because I'm just like, and it's not even a diss on any of my past partners, but like they didn't necessarily love that I liked to like film stuff.
Well, this is not a diss on any of my past partners, but they didn't necessarily love like farting or me farting if I had to fart. So not to bring it back to that, but that just
It
reminded
always
me.
comes back to farting.
It's like, hey, if you love me, I should be able to fart sometimes. Mm-hmm. Sorry.
And it also goes back to compatibility. So like
For sure.
it always felt like I just always felt so deflated whenever I'd pull out the camera and a partner would not be like super pumped about it. It's like I want to capture these moments to look back on. And so I was like really getting a lot of enjoyment out of filming Sid, and like we made the goofiest video. Like we spent one day just like
we need to watch that again.
making a video. I kind of want to
So
post
funny.
it on here.
I feel like we should.
We should do that.
I feel like we should.
We'll talk about our first trip
I
together in an
posted
episode, and we'll post that video. Like we
Yeah.
literally created like a storyline.
I posted some of it to TikTok like after the trip, and I don't think that the humor quite hit.
It doesn't matter.
How
It
it
hit for
was-
us, and I thought
Oh
it was
yeah.
funny.
I thought it was hilarious.
But yeah, so it was fun. We traveled really well together. I was really enjoying like kind of like feeling so relieved that you were cool with me. And we didn't film that much, but we filmed like enough to capture the trip, and
Yeah.
I was just like I was so giddy about it, honestly.
Yeah.
And how chill you were with traveling, because I'm chill with traveling, but I also do like to like squeeze in some stuff, because I want to take advantage while
well,
I'm there.
I mean, yeah, it's
So you handled my like wanting to bebop around a lot like well, and like at one point your poor little feet,
listen.
you were like limping around. I was
I
like,
need-
babe, we can go back. Like
I was
it's
like starting to
fine.
cry, and I was like, no, it's cool. Like it's cool. We're only in the city for another night.
And literally, and we were so early on, so we're still like learning about each other, and I was just like, babe,
I was
you have to tell me
overstimulated
if your
as
feet are hurting.
fuck.
Like, because it was like not just like, oh, my feet hurt. It was like you were starting to get blisters, and like that shit hurts.
Yeah, I'm getting gel inserts when we go back.
Yeah, and which hopefully we'll be back in a few months and we can recreate. We can recreate
Oh
our
my
sex
god,
tape.
we have to make episode 2. Yeah.
We should watch that later.
Yeah.
So that's something for sure, like early on traveling. Highly recommend. I think it's a good test. You might as well knock that out as soon as you can. Continuing on through my list here of notes. Early dating for someone that has like a little bit more trauma in past relationships, or maybe had like a not so fun like early dating experience with someone. Like for me, like I've said, all my past 3 serious partners it's just happened naturally. There's been not a whole lot of like drama or trauma with it. So for me, I'm like a little bit more secure in early dating. And I know for you were a little bit more like hesitant about it. Like when's this gonna, like, yeah, you explain it.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because I had just come out of like a situationship where, so when we first started seeing each other on a more regular basis after your relationship had ended, was when you started doing a lot of like really sweet things for me. I wrecked my car last December. Actually, the accident was not my fault, believe it or not. It was officially documented by Metro Nashville police that the accident was not my fault. However, none of the damage was covered, so I'm still bitter, but
it was so annoying.
Basically, yeah, I had gotten in this accident. Luckily, like nobody was hurt. It wasn't a big accident, but front of my car is still duct taped together.
This was the same month we started talking like more regularly. So I was still like learning you. So I had no idea that was like a brand new car for you.
I didn't realize you didn't know that, but it was. I had it for a little over a month, and I just kind of had like around the time that we were getting to know each other, it was like the series of unfortunate events. Like
Truly.
I wrecked my car. Our garage at my house at the time was robbed, so I lost like all of my audio equipment that I had. Not that I had a ton, but I had some. A bunch of sentimental stuff that was in storage. It sucked. I lost all of that. Yeah. I broke my roommate's TV, so I had to give them my TV, and then I didn't have a TV anymore. There was an infamous night where I was having a wine night with my friends, and before Heather came over, I like looked out the window and I was like, I have nothing. And I know that is so ignorant.
Just because the TV broke.
No, it was after the other stuff. It was after I wrecked my new car, I got robbed, and then I broke my roommate's TV. And I had to give them my TV. Luckily, we had the same exact TV, so that was nice. But anywho, I don't know why I had to go into all that. Basically, she started doing like really sweet things for me, and it made me really happy. Like she left a keychain on my porch one day that was like, it said like virgin who can't drive, and she left like a little note with like a little joint. Can I say joint?
Yes.
Okay, a little CBD moment on my porch, and it was like, I thought this was the appropriate form of flowers. Like it was just like so cute.
I like drew, like I just like taped it in a card and like drew flowers like around the J.
It was so cute. A month and a half after, like I put out a song, and like you did so much sweet stuff. Like when I put out my song and I was celebrating that, and
I did a scavenger hunt for Sid, like that took her to like, I think we ended up going to like what, 4 or 5. We went to several spots, like, around town. Yeah. And it was the song release scavenger hunt.
What I'm getting at is, like, those things were making me so happy, but they also made me feel, like, really apprehensive because I had, like, the previous situation I had been in, like, this person was also doing, like, all of these really sweet, thoughtful things for me and making me feel, like, really special. And then just, like, ripped the rug out from under my feet. Yeah. So, like, for me, it was just kind of like I was having a difficult time not projecting my, like, experience and, like, fears from this other situation onto you and, like, assuming that you were going to do the same thing. And eventually, like, a couple months in, like, I shared more with you about the experience that I had. And, like, this is why I feel, like, scared and like
Yeah, and that's obviously yeah, because like I said, like me, someone who feels a little bit more secure in this like early dating thing, because I'd never had a bad experience with someone like doing that to me, so I was just like doing what I normally do, which is like make sure someone know. I think I even texted you at some point pretty early on. I'm like, I think I just said like, if I'm into someone and pursuing them, like that person knows.
Yeah.
Like,
No, you were really like real and communicative about it, which was super helpful. And like as time went by, it was like a slow process, but I definitely was like, okay, like this is not the same as like somebody love bombing me and then
yeah,
being like, oh, never mind,
I
I'm
guess
bored.
I mean, it could technically be categorized as love bombing, but like I don't like love bomb with my little like leaving notes and like small little gifts and scavenger hunts and whatever. Like I don't do that unless I am like, I'm pretty certain that I'm like trying to pursue something with someone.
And then aside from that, like my only I think my only other long-term relationship, which wasn't even that long, it was just shy of a year, like I just really, I was so young, and like me and the other person were both so young and like
Yeah, that's the other thing.
immature
in
and
this. Like I am older than you.
Yeah,
So
and
whenever I'm serious about pursuing someone, it's like I'm 30.
no,
at the time,
it's not even that. If with this, it's just kind of like I was so afraid to find myself in another situation where like I was losing my sense of self in being with someone.
That's tough.
Because and that's a me thing. Like I know that I have a tendency, like my issues, to be so sucked in sometimes that I just. So anyway, I was just like kind of, I don't know, all of these thoughts of like I don't want to be in any of these situations again. But then it turned out that I just should have not been dating people my age or 2 years younger than me, because now I'm the less mature one in our relationship, and I am okay with that.
Well, I mean, I've got you by 6 years.
Yeah.
So
No, I'm really okay with that. It was just as we got a couple months into like really getting to know one another, like actually seeing each other on a regular basis, like I just quickly realized like, oh, this is actually much different than anything I've ever had before. In the best way, just because there was just like no bullshit from the beginning.
yeah, no, for sure. I like, if I'm into you, I want to make sure you know that. And then I'm like, yeah, because you always say that at some point I was just like, why would I be like spending all this time with you if I wasn't like interested in pursuing something
and
with
I
you?
was like, well, I don't know, I would ask the same question of other people, but like no, I
mean,
yeah.
fair, but some, I mean, once again, I'm older. When you're younger 20s, it's a little bit different than when you're younger 30s. Like,
Totally.
you're not like, I mean, which you could be, I guess, but personally, I'm not just like trying to do that. I like am a relationship person.
Yeah.
I like connecting with someone and being in a, like, I'm happy alone. It's not like I'm like, oh, I cannot be alone. It's just like the way my life has panned out. That's kind of how it's happened.
I mean, same.
This weather is, this lighting is just changing. Next on the list, you brought up infatuation with someone versus like actually liking who that person is. So if you wanted to talk a little about that, I think that's interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I think many people find themselves in this scenario, like in your younger years of dating and whatever, but I've definitely in the past been guilty of like just like having an idea of someone in my head and like falling for that idea and then it not being who that person actually is. And I know that I've experienced like I think people doing the same with me, like having an idea of me and then you just feel this dissonance of like, I don't know, I think with my most serious relationship that was the case. Like I think we were both guilty of that. Like and then for me I just got to a point where I was like, I don't feel like you like me for who I actually am.
Yeah.
And like kind of vice versa. Like I feel like we've just unfortunately had these ideas of one another and we're not able to live up to those ideas, and that's just
Yeah.
it's whatever. But anyway, I think with you, and this is why I said the thing. Oh my god. Hey girl.
Hi, Franker.
Don't touch the mic.
Ma'am.
Do you have something you need to say?
Do you want to share with the class?
My name is Frank, and I just wanted to say that, I'm trapped in this house with a bunch of crazies, and my mom's, abused me and never let me go outside, so, if anyone wanted to come to my rescue, this is where I am.
She does just want to go outside. Bless her.
No, but what I was saying is just kind of like with you, there just like wasn't. That's why I said what I said earlier about if you hadn't been in the open relationship, if I hadn't been kind of wrapped up in this other situationship, like I wouldn't have. I just don't think things would have gone the way that they did because I don't know. I would have been at risk for like getting infatuated with you because I just like, I don't know. It's something that I've gotten better about, but I just like, I'm a hopeless romantic and I just romanticize things.
Well, same.
And yeah, I mean, sue me. I don't know. But,
So, no, I think that makes sense. I think it's really easy when you first meet someone and there's attraction and like you actually like who you like, I don't know. First impressions are good, but
Also,
they can be different than who that person is at their core. The more time you spend with someone, you start to see how people act.
you're just like it's hard when you're just like my dream foot. Like, I don't know how to say it. Like,
your dream fudge.
like,
You're my dream femme.
thank you. It's just kind of like, it was fun. Like one time, I don't know if we should put this in the video, but I'm gonna say it. One time, my friend, like forever ago, was like telling me that I shouldn't get with someone that I wanted to get with, and I was like, yeah, you don't know, and she was completely right. But she was like, you need like a wholesome like girl that's just like a little more masculine than you, but just like a wholesome. And I was like, okay, yeah, if that existed, I would fucking find it, and it doesn't. And then you just appeared, and
How much longer after that was said did I appear?
Like
Years?
it would have been like a year or so. I don't know, like a year. I can't remember exactly when it was said. I just remember. Well, I just think about that conversation a lot because I'm like, I feel like she literally predicted you in my life.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I love that. Just like with early dating, like the whole introducing a new person to friends and family, but friends mainly. I feel like we've had good experiences. Like it adds a lot of pressure to a relationship if someone that you're with isn't really liked by your friends or the people you're around.
Yeah.
So when the people do like the person, then it's like, oh, thank goodness. I know one thing, this isn't a friend, but my cat, Herschel, was like immediately.
Herschel's not a friend?
Herschel's
Jesus,
a friend. Okay.
babe.
Herschel, you're a friend. You're a friend. He's like,
Don't tell him. He's gonna get his
friend.
little feelings hurt.
Here. Come up here, Hirsch. come say hi. You are a friend. This is who I'm discussing. So
You're
Hirsch,
a friend. Don't listen to your mother.
Herschel is just like a really shy cat, and generally when people come over, he hides. I think a lot of cats probably do that. But once Sid like started coming over,
The first time I came over.
yeah, he like was like all up on her, and I was like, he never does this. This is actually so sweet.
And outside I was like, oh my god, like that's so crazy. Like he's so sweet. And on the inside I was like, bitch, I'm in.
That's so funny. But yeah, I mean, I think all of our friends on both sides have liked the other one.
Yeah, I mean, I have been so, like, I don't feel this way now, but when I first started meeting your friends, like, I was so anxious because I've just never
Yeah.
dated someone older, and like, I'm I'm 25 now. I guess I was 24 at the time, but like, just meeting all of these like late 20s, early 30s, I just felt like, they're probably laughing at me and like they think I'm so like silly and young. And then I was like, no, Sydney, nobody's thinking about you that much. They do not care. But anyway, no, my friends, every single one of my friends that has met you is like, Heather is the best. I'm obsessed with Heather. Heather is.
That's so sweet.
It's so sweet, and it's just like, I don't know. Yeah. Everyone just thinks that you are the bomb diggity, and they're right. They're right, and it's just sweet, like, to hear different friends that, especially ones that I've known for a long time, be like, dude, Heather seems so solid. Like, oh my God,
Franker, no.
you are not a part of this.
Don't knock the camera down.
You are not a friend.
You are a friend. I'm just kidding. Oh. She said, you just banged me against the light.
No, but I've just had different friends just be like, I don't know, like if I'm going to hang out with friends now, like usually people are like, is Heather coming? Like, bring Heather. And I'm like,
That's sweet.
it's so sweet. Like,
Thank you, whoever has said that.
you are just. Anyway, okay. Let's not get too.
Yeah. I don't know. It's such a fun feeling to be like getting to know someone new. And then when you're actually clicking with them really well, the last thing on the list was just like how much we were keeping our cool. Mm-hmm. And I know I definitely wasn't trying to like be like, I like you like a lot. Like I'm like very into this. Like we were just trying to keep, because we started dating in like, we started hanging out more in December. I asked you out officially, like, to be my girlfriend in March.
Yeah.
And then you beat me to it, but you said I love you first in April. And I definitely feel like I could have said it sooner.
I said, I have to tell you something. And you said, oh my God, what? And I said, I love you.
Yeah, it was really sweet, though. I was going to say it literally the next week in Mexico, but she beat me.
I was going to say it in Mexico, but then I knew that if I waited, I was going to be waiting for like the perfect moment. And then I would have gotten to the end of the trip and have not said it. And then
I would have already.
Or if I said it in Mexico and you were like, oh, I'm not there yet, then like we would have been trapped in Mexico together.
You were crazy if you thought that I wouldn't have been there yet. Like we were.
Babe, I'm not crazy.
No, I know,
like,
baby. I know you're not crazy. I'm just saying, like.
No, but I'm saying it wouldn't have been crazy for me to think that maybe you were like.
I feel like it was so obvious how obsessed with you I was and am.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so it's just like, it's always hard early on because you don't want to, you don't want to sound crazy. You don't want to seem like a little too like, whoa.
But that's also, you've pointed out to me, like, that's such a thing, particularly more in my generation of like not wanting to be real about your feelings. Like, I remember early on in our relationship, you being like, what is that? Like, what is that when people are like ashamed of being real about how they feel about someone, or like,
I don't get it.
Even
like,
if someone doesn't feel the same way about you, like, as long as you're able to like take that respectfully and then like, you know, back off. It's like, why? I don't understand why it's such an embarrassing thing.
Yeah. It's a freaking compliment to be liked by someone or to be like pursued by someone. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, but we were both keeping our cool pretty intensely there for a little while. And then mainly with like, I guess this will be the last thing because I gotta go. But the early on of like, how much time do we spend together? Like, how much time is too much time? How many nights in a row is too many nights in a row to spend the night together?
I remember, like, after, if I had slept at your house, like, 3 nights, I would be like, okay, like, I gotta go have a night to myself.
And I would always be like, "Ugh,
And then I would just be like
respect."
texting you the whole night. And then I
Yeah.
eventually was just like, what is the fucking point? Like, I'm just literally sitting on my phone texting you because I want to
Yeah.
talk to you. By the time we got to like May, June, I realized, and I had never felt this way before, but I was just like, oh, like this person like feels like home. I don't care about sleeping in my bedroom and like having my alone time.
Yeah,
Because I
same.
can also like be around you and not say anything, and just like we can be doing our own thing together, and just I'm introverted, so like I can still be recharging with like you in the room.
Yeah, because we're able to just like chill on the couch, and I don't feel like I'm like super high energy. Like I can get really excited about stuff, but I feel like even then
You're
I'm kind
the
of calm about
perfect
it.
amount of energy for me, personally.
Same.
I think our energy levels are pretty aligned
Well
most of the
matched.
time.
Yeah, and well matched, but like yeah, like what we're each looking for. But
So
I felt
interesting.
the same way. Every time you would go sleep at your apartment, I was like, respect, like if you need to do that. But I was just like, I wish
Well,
he was
I
here. I wanna
also-
cuddle.
I
I hated like
also
going to
thought-
sleep alone after that because it was just like, oh, because we sleep really well together too. I feel like.
Well, we don't do this so much anymore, but when we first started dating, we would sleep like
Yeah.
like literally like faces. But
Well, we still do that a little bit, but we're less like adamant about that happening because we're
Yeah.
like, okay, we literally live together now. We do this every night.
up each other's assholes.
Yeah. So
Wait, what was the
codependent.
last thing I The last thing I was going to say is the other thing was in my head again, assume makes an ass out of you and me, but I was like, okay, like this is like a 30-year-old woman, like she needs her space. Like she doesn't want my silly 24-year-old ass in her bed every night. Like she needs her space.
I definitely wanted your ass in my bed every night, babe.
Well, once I realized that, I was like, okay, I live here now. Sorry.
Yeah, it's
So
just like
sorry.
that's just part of it. When you get older, like you find someone that you want to be with, and like we have our like work and like that. I don't know. It's just like I guess I'm just not the type of person that needs like to be fully alone like in my house. Like I can like go to my computer and like that's my alone time while you're in the other room, or I can be doing my own thing while you're sitting next to me. Like I've never really required that. Like like you work a lot of nights, so it's like I get my alone time then
When I'm
while you're working, and
Yeah.
so I don't know. That's just not something I've required.
And we also both have like our own rooms in our place now, which is so nice. We don't like actually your room has my bed in it
Yeah.
because it's bigger, and then my room is really small, so it's like my office, and like also it's kind of the
cat's
cat
toilet.
room. But it works out really well because we both have like a desk and our workspace, and like
Yeah.
if I need to go in and like I don't know, I can shut the door, and because honestly, like sometimes you just be distracting me like without doing anything.
We do.
Just
We're-
by
we
existing.
just-
I have to come and check on you like every hour and like give you a little kiss and see how you're doing.
I know, we just like to pop in on each other. It's so sweet though. Because everyone always, the honeymoon stage. Like, I do think that there's a lot of aspects of our honeymoon stage that will just be what our relationship is. Because
I don't think we're really in the honeymoon stage anymore. Maybe
not
we
that
are.
early. I mean, I think I can't remember how long they kind of say, but like the early, like maybe first year, like we're kind of into the second year of. I just more mean like, yeah, when people say like, oh, the honeymoon stage, like the whole like being all like lovey-dovey, like that hasn't really slowed down any in like a full last year.
Yeah.
So if anything, it's sped up. Oh, but I love thinking back to our early dating days.
Well, I can't wait for when we make our video on how we met and the trajectory of
of everything.
how
It's a fun
everything
story,
happened.
I
We're gonna
think.
make a PowerPoint.
Yeah, we're gonna present to you all a PowerPoint of like how we met and show some of our old messages and
Yeah.
It'll be cute.
I think it'll be fun. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. We want to put more time into it, so that one's gonna happen like down the road a little bit. I love that we're still dating.
Oh my God, Sam.
Not that we're obviously we're in a relationship, but we are still kind of like dating. I feel just
Well,
it's
yeah.
like
We
I don't
went
know,
on
we
a date
still-
last night.
yeah, like we still have that spark and that like we're like into each other. Like
Yeah. You opened the car door for me yesterday, and I was like, oh my God.
Well, you were like struggling to walk in your heels, so I was like, I'll get the door. I'll save it for another one, but I'm like I don't want it to become like I know you're capable of opening your own door. You know what I mean? Like sometimes I hate
No.
the aspect of that that's like, oh, let me do that for you because you're
Listen.
incapable.
If anybody else had opened the door for me, I would have been like, I can open my own fucking door. But with you, I'm like, okay. Yeah, you can take care of me.
Well, I just can remember that happening to me in the past, and sometimes it's like almost more awkward when someone's like opening and closing your door for you. You're just like,
Well, it's not like you
thank
do it every
you.
time I get in the car.
yeah,
that would
I
be
would.
weird.
That would be so annoying.
But
if I
it's
did
like
that
when
every
we're,
time.
I feel like when we're out and like
if you're dressed all
we're like on
cutesy.
like a little date, you're gonna like be a gentle foot and like open the door for me.
Maybe. That's funny. We would love to hear your early dating stories.
Yeah.
And some of the aspects
Tell
of early
us about
dating.
the first time you farted in front of your partner.
Yes. I can't remember how long it took, but we fully went to New York, which would have been like our 3rd month of dating, and we still hadn't. Frank.
Oh my God! One more
still
thing that I'll
hadn't pooped in
say
front of each
is,
other yet.
is remembering like the realization, like as I was packing for New York, like, oh holy shit! Like I'm gonna have to poop, like in the bathroom that we're sharing while we're here, and that was really scary. But
Yeah, because it was like tight quarters. I mean, it's New York, one bathroom. I think the bathroom was like a sliding door too, so it didn't even like fully latch.
yeah,
Yeah. So
that was just
we
the
successfully.
best trip.
Oh my
I can't
God,
wait to go
baby.
back.
It was so fun.
It was so fun. I can't wait to go back.
Memes. The memes. Well, yeah. Tell us about your early dating stuff, and we will see you next week with another Lyrics We Love. Hopefully y'all like that series because we really like it. And
Yeah.
that's something that we want to be kind of like a big part of this channel because we love music, and eventually we'll start talking more about Sid's music, but we're saving it for now. So
In the works.
some really fun, like this year's gonna be fun.
It is, yeah.
Just
See you next time. Thanks for gabbing.
Thanks for, or the very first episode you're like, Gabba go?
Gabba go.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
Well, that should be a cute one.